Hello all, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video, I'm going to talk about what is easier, the GMAT or the GRE. So if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out to get into graduate school, and so I wanted to give back even more. So it keeps going forward, right? So I created this sort of sharing economy proofreading platform to get feedback on your work. And then now I'm doing these YouTube videos. So which one is easier, the GMAT or the GRE? So first of all, I've only taken the GMAT, so I don't quite know which one is going to be the easiest. But I want you to think about this particular thing. If you're thinking about this question, I want you to think about something else. If you're thinking about trying to game the system to get into graduate school, do you think that the graduate administration office is not thinking about this as well? So if you're thinking about finding out which one is easier, the graduate administration office for sure is also thinking about which one is easier. They can quickly check which one is going to be easier. And you know what? Most admissions offices will do this. They will see there's actually kind of like a translation sort of tool or sort of thing that they do and to sort of translate what it means to get a GMAT with this particular score and a GRE with this particular score. And you can easily do that because once you start getting a large number of students applying to a particular program, then you could see how they perform within the first year of being entered into the administration office, right? And then you have kind of like a tool, a sort of standard of what is the best or what is appropriate for those particular scores. And you can easily sort of say, well, if somebody gets a 700 on the GMAT, then somebody else is worth getting a blank on the GRE. And it doesn't necessarily matter, right? So you can take whichever one. My point is, you can take whichever one and you can try to game the system, but somebody else, it's a marketplace, right? So somebody else is going to be trying to counteract that fact. So you're not going to be better off from what you started because somebody else is trying to make sure that other people aren't gaming the system, right? That's how a marketplace works. And that's really what graduate school and getting into graduate school is all about. And for those programs that are not making these adjustments, then they're probably not the programs that you want to be going to, right? The programs that are hard to get into, they're going to make these adjustments. They're going to be very clear with all of those adjustments when they do that because they know that lots of people are going to be gaming the system, right? That's why it's really hard to get into Harvard Business School or Stanford Graduate School of Business or my institution. It's really difficult to get into any of these particular programs simply because other people are thinking about this kind of stuff, right? And they have to know that, well, you know what? Lots of people are going to be trying to game the system. So how do we make sure that nobody's gaming the system, right? So once you get that in your mind, then it makes it a heck of a lot easier for you to go and start thinking about what you should do next, right? So instead of thinking about which one is easier, what I would do is I would pick one based on the kind of research or based on what you want to do, right? So whether you want to do research or whether you want to get an MBA, if you want to go to a business school, then just do a GMAT, right? If you want to do an MBA or a PhD or a master's in a business school, well, then just do a GMAT. But if you are thinking about options and not just thinking about business school, right? And, myself, I was curious about different things as well. It's not kind of unusual to do this. Then you can write a GRE. But I personally wanted to do business research and I personally wanted to go into business school, so I did my GMAT and it worked out okay for me. I'm now a professor, so I guess it worked out okay. I made it through the process. And you just have to simply do a couple of things. If I was to do this again, I would do this, right? So I would study for a good couple of months. I think I studied for about 3 weeks, which is far too short when I did this. I would also make sure that you take the test prep courses, and there's lots of these kind of test prep courses. I think Kaplan does one, and you just take it, and or Princeton Review has one as well. Just take the course, and it'll all work out. Those things do work, right? The courses do work in terms of bumping your grade, and you do get a better grade, and then it get a better score, and that allows you to get into graduate school. Instead of thinking about ways to game the system, what you should be thinking about is how I can actually get better at that system, right? So the current system that's there, and you're going to get a lot further ahead. I guarantee it's just going to be a lot better for you to focus on that. And then the other thing, let's say you do game the system and you choose, so you were able to figure out which one is the easiest one to do, right? The GMAT or the GRE. You take that particular program, you take that particular test, you get into the program that you want to get into, and then all of a sudden you're misplaced in a program that's probably a lot more competitive than you expected it to be. And then you're likely to do not very well once you get into the program. Right, so if you're thinking about gaming the system and you try to game the system's going to bite back at one point, is what I'm trying to say. And even when you game the system, when you are in graduate school and you're thinking about ways to cheat and stuff like that, guess what? When you get out, it's still, when you're working, you're still going to have to work within a system of expectations. People are going to expect you to do work and things like that. So it's still going to bite back at some point. So just try not to game the system. Try not to get out there and say, I'm going to do this one or that one. I would pick the best one that is most suitable for the thing that you're trying to do. So GMAT, basically every business school are going to be very accepting of a GMAT. If you are thinking of doing a broader base sort of thing, right? You're not just thinking about going to business school and doing research and doing school and business school, then go do the GRE. It's going to benefit you more, because then you can get into like economics, sociology, engineering, arts, whatever program that you can get into, and it would make more sense for you. So that's my advice. Which one is easier? Sorry, you have to think about the marketplace and what the outcomes are. They're both going to be difficult, and they're both people are going to adjust for this, right? They are going to adjust for the easiness of the score. I guarantee it's not going to benefit you to try to game the system. All right, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.